And welcome back to the postgame show. Westminster wins its home open this afternoon over Northwest Nazarene, 88-60. And we're joined now by our player of the game, Aubrie Vale, one of the first-year Griffins, who had a major role in this afternoon's game, 21 points and a double-double with 11 rebounds. And Aubrie, a nice effort by you. Congratulations on the win this afternoon.
Thank you.
Always nice to get home and just get a game in. You guys have been on the road to start the season. Conference play starts next weekend. You want to get a win to come out and get the W. You did that. You now go to 3-1 on the season. What went right for the Griffins to get the win here this afternoon?
You know, the past previous games, we haven't really taken care of the ball. We haven't wanted the ball, as Coach says. And I think wanting the ball and taking initiative of wanting the ball has been really helping.
Well, you guys offensively shoot 57%. You hold them to 32, and they got some shots to go in that fourth quarter. But I thought really for the first three quarters, excellent defense by your team this afternoon.
You know, Coach always yells at us, telling us to talk. So this game we decided to talk. We practiced trying to blow up their offense a lot, and I think talking and knowing what to do really helped.
Joined by our player of the game, Aubrie Vale. You know, you bring up a good point. There's so many new players on this roster. Really, probably the most that's been turned over from one year to the next for Shelley, Jarrard. So it's not just players trying to learn the system. It's trying to learn how to play with each other and communicate. So you felt the communication was a big part in your success this afternoon.
Yes, very.
Has that been emphasized, or was it something the players just kind of realized, hey, we could do a better job with this? Where'd that come from?
It's been emphasized throughout all the games. Sometimes we talk, sometimes we don't, but yesterday at practice, Coach really emphasized we need to talk, and I think the communication was really well this game.
You got some nice open threes to go down, a couple major runs in this game. You stuck down 3 of 4. Williams got 3 of 5. Is this going to be a pretty good three-point shooting team this year, or was this maybe just kind of a hot afternoon for your group?
You know, all of us are really good three-point shooters, but as long as we take the threes that are available and good threes, I think we'll be a great team.
As that been talked about as well, is not just taking the shot, but taking the shot at the right time in this offense. That's been emphasized.
Yes, very.
Looks like it worked pretty well this afternoon for you. Well, let's talk about you just a little bit. First-year player, there's been a good pipeline from Big Bend up in Idaho. You're in that long line. What attracted you to the Westminster program?
I guess they recruit a lot from Big Bend.
Yeah.
I just never knew that. And Coach Wilkes, my previous coach, was telling me about Coach Jarrard here, and I was like, well, she seems pretty cool. So we hooked up, and I guess she recruited me.
Well, it's been a good fit. I'm not sure if it's a program he runs or what it is, but it's been a nice fit, and you're in the long line of a lot of good players from there. So welcome to Westminster. A nice afternoon for you. A double-double, 21 points, 11 rebounds. We'll see you back here for the RMAC opener next week.
Thank you.
All right, that's Aubrie Vale, our player of the game. A double-double for the Griffins as Westminster defeats Northwest Nazarene 88-60. Back with more of the post-game show in just a moment on Griffins TV.
Salt Lake Regional Physical Therapy. We treat the team and all the fans. Here's a tip on how to get back to play.
To speed up recovery from a sprained ankle, follow the RICE treatment plan. Rest, ice, compression, and elevation. First, rest and keep weight off the ankle. Next, ice the injury for about 20 minutes at a time. Third, wrap the ankle in a compression bandage. And finally, elevate to minimize swelling. If you experience an ankle injury, see your doctor or call us.
Westminster wins its 17th straight non-conference home game. They take down Northwest Nazarene 80-60, or made that 88-60 this afternoon. Mike Lageschulte joined now by the head coach of the Griffins, Shelley Jarrard, in the post-game show. And Shelley, your first home game of the season. Your team came out.
Hey.
It's a pretty good flow. You made some shots, and you win this one going away. Your thoughts on the victory this afternoon?
Well, so far I like playing at home because we haven't made shots like that so far this season. So, you know, the ball felt good going in for us. We took better shots. Our threes, our outside shots have been a little shaky on, you know, when to take them. And these were, you know, like you said earlier, they're in the flow. They were good shots. They were in to out. They were transition, you know, shots. and we shoot better when we take good ones. And so I think that's what happened. Plus, we felt good, and when somebody hits, somebody else is more likely to hit, and the ball just gets rolling that direction. I'm really proud of them, for playing well today.
Aubrie said the same thing. She said it's not just taking the three or taking a shot, it's knowing when to take it and to fold the offense. I thought, too.
She knows that speech pretty well.
She got it down. Yeah. It was almost like it was your words coming out of her mouth when she was here a few minutes ago. But I thought, too, just, your players made the extra pass. I saw some good spacing, trying to find, I think, Swartzen a few times. Yeah. Just found an opening, rewarded with a nice pass, a high percentage shot.
Right.
Yeah, it's so hard when you have so many new players learning to play with each other and getting a feel. I thought this afternoon it looked pretty good for the most part.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, it's a process, and we've turned a corner every game. I must say, I said, hey, you guys can learn some stuff that we're teaching you, so that's good to know. They did. We're learning to land on 2 feet after a drive and finding open kids. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting better. Like you said, we're knowing when to take a good shot. We need to get better on the boards, so much better on the boards. They just crushed us on offensive rebounds. We're under 20 turnovers, but we're still hovering around that 20. We got to clean that up. Luckily we have a better assist-to-turnover ratio because we made so many shots, but that number's got to go down. And the other team's O boards, they battled. They were tough kids, and they battled hard, and they bodied us and they pushed us, and they went for every O board, and that was good for us because we need to see that. We're going to have great film from this.
Well, your team really had a couple of big quarters, the second quarter and third quarter, a couple of nice runs to push you out to a comfortable margin. They had some good energy. I thought in that fourth quarter they could have packed it in. Instead they came out and got after you.
Yeah, they did.
But, some good performances. We talked about Aubrie Vale. Denise Gonzalez, your freshman point guard. I know you've been very high on her. I talked to you a few weeks ago. You liked her. Now I can see why.
Yes.
Got to 22 points a day, 5 assists, 5 steals. As you said, doesn't get herself into trouble very often. When she does, she gets her way out of it for the most part. But I was very impressed with her this afternoon.
Yeah, she has a handle we've never had before, and she sees the floor really well, and she has a flow to her. And when she can get in that mode, in that zone, she's very good. For floaters going down, watch out. I'm trying to get her to do more than one thing. And today she did land on 2 feet at times and find open kids. And she is going to be a really fun player in the future. She is right now, but it's more spotty. It's not as consistent. When she gets really consistent and heady, even more, she's exciting. So what a great game from her today, especially when they just went after Natalie Parsons because she's been our leading scorer and high points, and that's what you do. And they shut Natalie down, but we had other kids step up, and that was huge. Cicely off the bench was huge, and it gave us a real emotional lift too, because everybody wants that kid off the bench to come in and hit some shots, and she did. And she actually, she's really turned a corner this week on learning offense and playing better defense. So that was huge for us.
Well, your team 3-1. You go to conference play. Hard to believe, but it's a big conference schedule in the RMAC. You have your first one here next Saturday.
Got the big one coming in right away.
Yeah, right off the bat here. But, I know it's so early, 4 games in, but, some positives, some things to work on for your team as you go into conference play next week.
Yeah, like I said, rebounding is huge. We're undersized. We got a box. When kids come after us like that, we just got to really grind it out and compete one-on-one, and everybody has to box 1 through 5 positioning. Cleaning up our turnovers. I want to see that number go down, 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 and so we'll get after him this week and put some pressure on us and teach us how to be better in those scenarios.
All right, enjoy the win. We'll see you back here next
Mike.
weekend. All right, the Griffins take down Northwest Nazarene 88-60. Back to wrap things up after this on Griffins TV.
Salt Lake Regional Physical Therapy.